Welcome to this review. I recommend, if you want to get the most out of it, that you listen with headphones. What's up? Welcome back. This is the second time I'm doing a microphone review, and I kind of know what I'm doing. Not too long ago, I got contacted by a company, Fifine or Fifine. I think it's Fifine though. And they asked me to do a review of their microphone, the Fifine K669B. After spotting your amazing channel and watching one of the nice videos about microphones comparison, I really think you, our YouTuber, deserved more attention. Okay. Keep up the good job. Bigger font. Our mic would come in useful to help you climb up the content creator's ladder even higher. Okay. Literally, it is USB. Plug and then play. It smashes the traditional XLR mic in terms of setup. Imaging, you are having a podcast or streaming. Chances are no available power outlet. You're right. Needless to say, I was interested. Fifine sent me the microphone, which was really cool. I've never had that happen before. It's listed as a condenser microphone. I'll post a little description for it here. So currently I have the microphone plugged into Audacity. This is a USB microphone. And right now I can already tell, since it is condenser, it's much more sensitive than a dynamic. So I'm turning it down a little bit. And you may or may not notice the difference here. One of the biggest things people are going to realize is that it's a front-facing microphone. So this part with the dial on it, that should be facing you. A lot of people probably want to talk at it because they're used to seeing people hold a microphone, but it's not how it actually works. You should be at the front of the microphone. Personally, my mic technique is more suited to dynamic microphones, so I'm not sure. Maybe I should be further away like this. I can kind of tell the difference if I'm all the way back here versus if I'm up on the microphone right here. It's a very sensitive condenser. I'm at like 9 o'clock. Their volume thing is basically their gain knob. It does come with a stand, one of those little portable stands that you can get with pretty much any run-of-the-mill starting microphone. I put it onto a little boom arm for a tabletop. This microphone's a USB, so one of the biggest things when I was looking into a microphone when I initially started my podcast was if I should do XLR or USB. And I thought, oh great, USB, that's obviously simpler. What I noticed though with USB is that the sound quality is going to be a lot different than XLR. So right now, running through USB straight into my MacBook, and it's just a standard MacBook, it's relying on whatever sound card is in that computer. Versus if it's like you use an audio interface or a sound recorder, that has a much higher quality sound card in it because it's all it's designed to do. One thing that was really important to note, even though it is a condenser and it is USB, you obviously don't need phantom power because the power comes straight from the USB. So with a condenser microphone, the biggest thing to take note of is that a treated room is best for it. This is not really a treated room that I'm in right now. It's where I've recorded most of my podcasts since I moved to my new apartment, but it's really not that treated. There's no foam panels or anything like that. You can kind of hear maybe some slight echo or whatever going on in the room. So that's something to be aware of, is that if it's not dynamic, it's not going to reject as much of that extra stuff around you. Like if there were construction outside, this microphone right now would for sure pick it up versus a dynamic would probably reject most of it. What I'm going to do is go up on the gain knob slowly. What I can probably guess is that as I go up and up and up, it's going to be easier for it to be distorted. So you can kind of hear that I'm talking with my voice a little bit louder as I go up because I'm a little bit scared about what might happen. So I'm almost getting to the point where I'm talking at a whisper because right now we're at about 80%. And easily, if I were to talk at the volume I was now, you can see how it's distorted at 100% volume. You don't want to do that, obviously. It's very sensitive. Now, a lot of people have talked about getting a little pop filter to put on it. Sure, go for it. It's going to help, obviously, because if it goes right through it. I mean, it's a condenser. It's sensitive. It's right there. There's really nothing in between your voice, the air that's being blown over into the microphone, and the actual capsule. That's the actual capsule. So there's really nothing. There's a little metal grill and like a little wire thing, but there is no pop filter. Now I'll label it, but I'm going to do a sound removal, noise removal, because if you listen into the background, I'll increase the gain for you. You notice that there's a decent amount of background noise. So what I'm going to do, just to be obnoxious about it, I'm going to put the gain at 50%. So I'm sure there's a little bit of distortion right now. So I'm literally hitting 0 dBs right now in Audacity. And I'm just going to let the noise run for a little bit. I'm going to talk right now without the noise removal, and then I'm going to talk with noise removal. So you can kind of hear how well it does with rejecting that noise. That's one of the reasons why I think you should have the microphone closer than further, because you want that ratio to be in your favor. The voice should be more important. Now, overall, I guess my big takeaway, me personally, I would not do a condenser microphone. That said, though, it's a very well-built microphone. The little volume knob is really sturdy. The biggest thing that's probably a drawback is that you cannot monitor real time. So zero latency monitoring, that's why you see podcasters listen with headphones. They're listening to themselves in real time. Mostly I do it to make sure there's no issues with audio. If I have a guest, I make sure that they wear them too, because it helps them where if they want to turn to somebody, it kind of helps them get back to the microphone. Pretty cool. You guys will hear the audio quality for yourself. I noticed when I tried this out like yesterday, there was a little bit of like a tinny sound, and I think it was some sort of interference from this metal band that is kind of around the top of the grill. Something to be aware of. You may not notice it. I think I'm kind of maybe too detail oriented with audio, but that's the microphone itself. Totally forgot to mention, if you're talking about streaming, if someone wants to do like Twitch or whatever, I think this microphone, it would do a good job with quality, but it would for sure pick up the sound of like your keyboard or whatever, because it's not rejecting that noise from the back and the sides. You kind of heard that periodically. So hopefully this review was helpful for you. If the Fifine K669B is the microphone for you, great. You can pick it up on Amazon. Thanks again to the folks at Fifine for sending it to me. It was cool to get this opportunity. Feel free to check out my podcast. It is Classroom Brew. It's featured anywhere you get podcasts, and it's also on YouTube if you want to check out our occasional video episodes. Siren in the background. Great. All right. Thanks, guys.